Okay, we have already completed many items about the condition of the revenue and expense recognition. If you remember for this slide, you can see that we have already completed for this block in the section 65 bits. Like number one, number one is about they said that the non-deductible expense is all of the expense that quote in the section 65 there. I have do not explain on you for this because it's just the coding under the law, but uh, that is the bracket number one. But I have continued you in the section the bracket 65 bracket number two for the depreciation that will not be over the limitation under the law for the useful life. The third one, for example, of the entertainment expense. Sorry, not entertainment. The third one is about the revaluation of the asset is not the income. Or the number four about the market value of the or the market price of the selling of the goods or provide or provision of the service that if it is under the market price without reasonable excuse or without the reasonable explanation, they should access their income at the market price in the tax calculation for the tax return. Or for the case of the foreign currency balance, it should be converted into Thai baht using the spot rate on that date, and they have to declare for all of the importing product if that transaction is about the importing at the market price because and exchange and convert into Thai baht on the exchange rate of the transaction rate. If they have the asset or liability that are in the foreign currency, they should be converted into Thai baht at the end of the accounting period by recognize it as unrealized gain or loss on the exchange rate. Okay. In case of the bad debt written off, it has the condition about the bad debt write-off expense that should be followed to the condition according to the range of the bad debt that they written off. Okay, for the for the case, the first case is the debt which is not over 100,000 baht. That one is just following up proof that they have the evidence that follow up for the debt. Okay, and the expense for suing the case in the court is not covered by the amount of debt. For the financial institution, the taxpayer who are the financial institution, this range of debt is not over 200,000 baht. And the debt between the 100,000 to 500,000, they should sue the case in the court, even for the civil court or the bankruptcy court, and the court accept the case for the consideration or judgment. And the number of the debt which is over 500,000 baht. In this case, they sue the case, and the court must have the final judgment, and they have already follow up for the asset to pay for the debt and does not have the enough asset for paying this debt. The portion that is not have made does not have the payment. It can be write off as bad debt expense and taken it as an expense in the computation of the taxable profit. For the dividend income, it has 100% exemption for the case that the receiver is Thai listed company in the stock exchange of Thailand, or another case for the Thai general company who hold a share at least 25% longer than 3 months before and after receiving the dividend. And another case for the 50% exemption that will be the general rule between Thai receiver company and Thai distributing company. For the section 65 is number 11, it's about the output VAT of the VAT operator will not be treated as an income. And then the last one for the number 12, for the taxpayer who are the foundation or association, they will pay tax on the gross received by pay the tax on the income which is not the exempted. So the income that the foundation and association that are exempt is about the subscription fee or member fee and donation income. Okay, that is all for the um, for the section 65 bits. Okay, we will continue on the section 65 third. In the section 65, there is setting about the non-deductible expense. So it means that when we compute for the profit, if you have this kind of the expense, you have to check the qualification or check the transaction that is that be the expense that do not comply to the section 65 there. If yes, we have to adjust the expense in the calculation of the taxable profit. Okay, we have to adjust the calculation of the taxable profit for those kind of the expense. Okay, so what are they? The first one is about reserve. Okay, section 65 there, number one about reserve. Reserve are in the kind of the estimation of the expense. Okay, what are they? In the calculation of the transition of the expense, revenue and expense in the accounting purpose, we have the accrual basis. Okay, we have the accrual basis. Accrual basis will means revenue or expense that related to the accounting period. Although it is not yet paid, it will be recognized as revenue or expense under the accrual basis. By the way, although it is under the accrual basis, sometimes we don't have the information that how much of the expense or revenue that is actually one. Okay, but we are talking about the expense. Under the expense, we have under the accounting we have the accrued expense. Accrued expense is a kind of not yet paid of the expense, but it is already incurred or relevant to the accounting period expense. So we will recognize it such as debit expense, credit, account payable. But normally for the account payable, it means that we already know the number of the payment. That is the actual one. Okay. Uh, for another case that we will not record as a AP, we will record it accrual expense. Accrual expense is not sometimes is we know the actual number, but sometimes it is the estimation. Okay, sometimes it is an estimation. So we have to check that the nature of the estimation. This nature of expense, this nature of the expense is the estimation, but not yet have liability. If it does not yet have the liability under the law, it will be treated as reserve. Okay, it will be treated as reserve. So if they are treated as reserve, immediately it will not be deductible expense. It will not be deductible expense. However, the reserve can be expense. The reserve can be expense for the case of the taxpayer. Okay, the taxpayer, if they are the business operate for the life insurance company, the number of the reserve is allowed for the deduction as the expense, although it does not yet actual pay. It is allowed for the 65% of the premium. For the business of the non-life or other type of the insurance fund, allow for the number of the reserve expense which is not over 40%. 65% or 40% of the premium that they receive. In the kind of the financial institution, okay, in the kind of the financial institution, they are allowed to deduct the doubtful account or doubtful debt or the bad debt expense as a that is the reserve. It does not yet the bad to be bad debt, but they are required to set up the reserve to forecast in the future how much of the opportunity that they may lose from this bad debt. So in this kind of the bad debt reserve for the taxpayer who are the financial institution, they are allowed to be taking this as the expense in the computation of taxable profit. Okay, so for example of the reserve, such as inventory. For the accounting inventory, they have to measure it at the cost. For example, that is this case, they are buying the inventory from 1999 with the cost of the 1 million baht. As today, it is the obsolete stock. It cannot be it cannot be sold for a long time. And they said they are in the accounting they are required to measure the net realizable value. Okay, so net book value or net realizable value is 100,000 baht. So they set up the expense for the obsolete stock as in total of 900,000 baht. 900,000 baht will be non-deductible expense because it is a kind of the estimation or reserve. Okay, so these are the meaning of the reserve or the non-deductible expense for the first card. However, since this is the inventory, if they think that this is the loss, they have to make sure that 100,000 baht is market value or not. If it is the market value, they have to prove for the evidence that it is the market value by using the supporting document of the measurement, which is not the estimation of the market value. Okay, it's not the estimation of the loss. Okay, so in this case, it have to back to the section 65 bits number 6 for the evidence of the market value, which is lower than the cost. And if they can prove that for the section 65 is number 6, they can value this and recognize this as a loss in the accounting period by using the condition of section 65 bits number 6. Okay, so that is the first one for the